rollie stole with the rollie on. What was our getaway car, Jag portfolio? You hear me? Hey, I heard I had some sneak dissers. Whoever feeling hot, that AR got a heat.
Hey, obviously, UFC 217 this Saturday, November 4th. UFC Fight Pass early prelims are at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. FS1 prelims are 8 and 5, respectively, and then main card's 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Headlined by the returning former welterweight champion George St. Pierre, taking on middleweight champ Michael the Count Bisping.
God, how weird is that? Where are we at? Where are we at? Where the fuck are we at? And Donald Trump is the president. Where the fuck are we at right now? God damn.
It's a fucking weird fight because the former, I mean, he could be the best welterweight to ever do it, right?
Probably.
And he's coming back 4 years later, or 4 years after his, he stepped away, retired, whatever you want to call it. Comes back and he's fighting for the middleweight championship. Okay, 15 pounds up. I don't know if you guys seen pictures. He looks fucking weird. You can tell he's an 85er now, but he's a short 85er. Meanwhile, shorter by like 3 inches. By the way, he's not much shorter. He's not too much shorter than Bisping. But Fred, first of all, when we all talked about the main event when it first got made, I was just like, okay. Honestly, I'm still like, okay. Like, all right, cool. Yeah. What do you think?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. Bisping has completely turned me around on this one.
Yeah.
I was not really into this fight at all when they first announced it. I figured 85 and 70 are both deep. We could find fights for fucking George and Bisping at their respective weight classes that would be funner and better, more even. This one. I could think of a dozen reasons why I didn't like this fight in the beginning, but fucking Bisping and that mouth and that eye, he sold me on it, man.
The eye.
He just keeps going and keeps talking, and fuck it. I'm down with it now. And I guess maybe there's just a little bit of, we're on the roller coaster at this point. Might as well just buckle up and raise your fucking hand. Like, it's happening. So let's just do the damn thing. But I'm kind of excited for it now. I mean, we don't got a whole lot of fights to look forward to. Maybe it's also the fact that this whole card is good. So it just adds a little bit. Like, I'm super fucking pumped for the card now. And I'm pretty pumped for this fight. I think GSP is going to get a fucking beating. I don't think it's going to be close. I mean, I think Bisping is going to trash George. I don't think he's big enough for 85. He hasn't been active. Styles make fights. I don't think his style is right to beat Bisping. And even for the style he has, he's just literally not big enough to impose that game plan on Bisping. Maybe he will be, but I don't think he is. But it's interesting, right? We still get to see George after 4 years, different weight division against the champ, which is Bisping, which sounds weird in and of its fucking self. Yep. So for just the weird fucking odd factor, this fight's pretty cool, man. After this fight, either George St. Pierre or still the cockeyed wonder himself will be the king of 185 in 2017. That's fucking gnarly, man. Either way, however this fight plays out, if George wins, that's extremely interesting, right? Does he keep the belt? Does he fight Robert Whittaker? Does he drop it? Does he go down? If Bisping wins, fuck, man, he still shouldn't be the goddamn champ anyway. So finally, his next fight, either he retires, which makes 85 super interesting again, or we see him, get snuffed out by fucking Robert Whittaker, presumably. Either way, good shit and interesting leading up to it, and going to leave us with a real interesting vibe afterwards.
No, I hear that. Jeremiah, with this fight, everyone's talking about, if Bisping wins, he's talking about walking away. Is GSP going to fucking, fight Whittaker? Most people are saying no. What do you want to see out of this fight?
Well, that's the thing. Where does it go from here? And first, I want to bring up, did y'all watch the little show that Chael Sonnen does when he's driving in his car going down the road? What's the name of it?
I know what you're talking about. Like fucking Conversations with Uncle Chael or some horse shit like
something like that.
Yeah, well, he fought Bisping, trained with St. Pierre, and he said St. Pierre is stronger than Bisping.
Yeah, I did see that.
So I don't know if the size will be that much of a difference, but I'm afraid, and I've been sticking with my guns on this fight. I think Bisping's going to trash him. He looks slow and fat, and the 4-year layoff, I don't give a fuck how good you used to be. You're 4 years older, and the time that he's been gone, Bisping's been fighting the who's who in the division. And like you said, Eddie, if GSP does win, Where the fuck does he go? And in the top 5, do y'all agree that maybe Whitaker will be the best matchup for him? But then again, I see Whitaker trashing him on the fucking feet. That's how stacked the division is. The top 5, Whitaker will probably be the best matchup for GSP if he wins. Where does he go? I really don't fucking know. I really don't know. And this fight is kind of a toss-up. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what the fuck's going to happen until they say, let's get it on.
Now, my thing is I think if GSP wins, we're talking, I almost guarantee, I feel like he's going to be like, let me fight Tyron Woodley, champion versus champion.
I was going to say that. Did you hear what Woodley said?
What did he say?
They said, what show was he on? He was talking to Kenny Florian.
Okay.
Saying, what is his next fight? And he said he thinks his next fight is going to be the winner of GSP Bisping.
Bro, I heard
That's what he said.
I heard that the winner has to fight Robert Whitaker even if
in
George
contract.
wins.
I thought that was in the contract.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard this. George signed that in the contract that if he beats Michael, he has to defend the belt against Robert. Now, after that, it's up for debate. But in the contract, if he wins, his next fight is Robert Whitaker at the title.
So he can't vacate go down to welterweight.
It's that interim belt thing, bro. They're not. Yeah. I mean, the UFC does some sticky shit. Conor will fight Tony. George changes the universe because he's George. But after we get this one out of the way, Robert gets his shot. Period.
Yeah. Now, Pierre talking about GSP. She says, "I heard he's been training regularly with the Dana Herdez squad, and Gordon, Ryan, Gary, Tony, those kind of guys. And he moves his takedowns away from the fence, so he'll get it. So his getting up will be harder, and he's got a longer reach than Bisping, by the way. I think by like an inch. Yeah. So, Raider says, Bisping sold the shit out of this fight. Apparently, man, Fred's on board, 100%.
He did, bro. He did. I mean, for me at least, man, he has been, showing up drunk to the press conference and just touching George and fucking with George the whole time. Hey, listen, even his horse shit with Jorge and, Bisping's been shot out of the cannon this whole time, man. He's really done his job pretty well as far as promoting shit goes. I mean, as good as you can against George, who gives you nothing in return.
Hey, one quick thing before we move. I'm still on the topic, but how many times have you seen Bisping held down and dominated on the ground?
Nah, Chael might have been the last guy.
Or Tim Kennedy.
Tim Kennedy, right.
But that those are it. Those are the two guys right there. And I still say Tim Kennedy was juiced out of his mind towards the end.
I was getting ready to say.
It's fucking huge. His thighs were bigger than my head.
Then he fought in Canada and got fucking massacred by Kelvin Gaston.
I used to hate Bisping, but he has won me over too. And it was about a month ago. I rewatched the fight with him and Anderson.
Oh yeah.
Dude is a fucking soldier, man. You can say what you want to say about the end of that, third round when he got the knee or whatever. Yeah. But if you watch that fight, take away that fucking knee knockdown at the end of the third, Bisping won that fucking fight, man.
Yeah.
And he was distracted. Anderson low-key cheap shot at him.
He got the mouthpiece.
Yeah, he won that fucking fight.
Yeah. Real quick, Pierre says they could both end up retiring GSP if he loses and Bisping if he wins, which he should. And then John says, I think Bisping is scared to fight the Cuban, really. I don't know. I don't know about that.
No, he ain't scared. He just wanted a big payday before he does retire. And he deserves it. What the fuck? He's been getting fucking cross-eye beat for years now.
Jesse, you seen a retirement there from either guy?
I would hope that Bisping retires if he wins. Just because it'd be good to watch him kind of end his career, ending the long streak of GSP, in title fights, ending that, and then ending himself his career after, what was it? What do you say? 10 years of, chugging along, like Jeremiah said. I mean, he's been in some major fights where he was just bludgeoned, and he still kept coming, lost an eye basically to this sport. I mean, he deserves to kind of get this payday and kind of just, get carried out of here. But I'm just excited to see this fight go down, guys. I mean, I think I just think that GSP is that type of guy that is a throwback fighter that was so good at one thing. You knew what he was going to do, yet he still beat you with it, And so it's kind of interesting for me to see how that kind of style is going to match up against a guy like Bisping, who's just super active, super tough, and you literally have to kill Bisping to put him away. And not many people have been able to do that. I mean, that Anderson Silva knee, I also saw it just a few days ago, like Jeremiah. I mean, most guys would have been completely out cold with that knee, and Bisping was still, chugging along, trying to get back into that fight. So I just don't see how GSP can generate any amount of power to put him away. If GSP is able to win, I think it's just going to be a decision. But the longer it goes, I think the more in Bisping's favor it is. So I just think Bisping squishes him like a bug.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing about it too, Bisping, like you gotta admire like his self-belief. Everyone else talks about Conor's self-belief and whatever. Yeah. Michael Bisping had to fight roid heads, kept losing #1 contender fights. Those are hard fucking fights to get, and he still kept at it. And then he fucking took the opportunity that was given to him on short notice and fucking owned it. So I've been a Bisping fan since I started watching MMA, honestly, because the dude's funny as shit. His shit talk to me is hilarious. So
he is skilled. He is talented. He dominated the Tough Show. There was no competition.
Was that season 3? Season 3.
Yeah, he was just so much better than everybody.
That was that light heavy too,
205.
man. I mean,
that's why I didn't like him.
He had a good career at light heavyweight, to be honest.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah. All right, so let's do some picks here. Fred, who you taking?
Oh, Bisping. I got that. I mean, listen, this is MMA, Jack, right? If George comes out and throws a fucking tornado roundhouse kick and knocks Bisping out, we've seen wilder shit, but I assume Bisping wins this fight.
All right, Jeremiah?
I'm picking Bisping, and one thing we hadn't touched on, one reason why I'm picking Bisping, and I'm going to use a Conor McGregor analogy. I see GSP being stuck in the mud in this fight. Footwork in this fight. The fight starts standing. To get that takedown, you got to work in. You got to work your movement to get the takedown. He just don't look good. You know what I'm saying? Chubby, slow. Yeah. So I'm going Bisping. He looks stuck in the mud to me.
Everyone in the comment section says just post your picks and I'll read them off. Jesse.
I'm just gonna be crazy and pick GSP because I think his intelligence and his style can actually create problems for Bisping. I agree with you guys. I don't think the 4 years off and the extra weight is going to help him much. And I think Bisping's been a lot more active. He's been fighting killers. So he should be sharp enough to take out GSP. But I just would love to see GSP win this belt and then, fight against Robert Whittaker and see what he can do there, man. That'd just be a great showcase of a great champion. But yeah, I'm just going to pick GSP just to be crazy.
All right. John says the Cuban can hold him down. He has the right tools to beat him. Talking about Romero. Let's see. Liam says Liam's picking Bisping. George Mendes says this dude. He goes, George Mendes says I'm picking GSP, but don't make bets based on my pick. I just have a feeling. All right. Raider says Bisping 3rd round TKO. Ooh, specific as shit. I'm taking Michael Bisping TKO 5th round. We're talking like it's gonna be like some crazy shit that back and forth, left and right, and then Bisping just finishes him at the end. Because I do think that that GSP is going to gas out. I think the extra weight is going to add on there, so it's going to be a little bit crazy.
Honestly, bro, now if we push ourselves to that, I think that fucking Bisping will get like a 1st or 2nd round finish.
I think it'll be quick too.
Yeah, I think he is going to dominate George, bro. Like he's so much bigger. Like not that he's a huge middleweight, but he ain't a fucking small one, man. Like we just said, he did all right at 205, man. I just think he is going to be way too much for George after way too long of a layoff. I think them punches are going to fucking hurt little old George. You can gain all the weight you want, but you're used to getting hit by 70ers.
Yeah.
Bisping isn't known for his punching power, but he is known for precision, and he is known for his striking in general. I just don't think.
Well, not just that, Fred. Though you got to look at how Jason Perillo has been advancing Bisping's game. Yeah. His striking game has been getting better and better from each fight. I mean, he got a little crazy with Dan Henderson, ate a couple shots because he was kind of showing off his striking, but. The other thing that impressed me the most about Bisping is he's smart in who he brings in to train with them. Yeah. I was listening to Luke Thomas today, and he was saying that they found these like 2 young brothers that are like just wrestling like phenoms.
Oh yeah.
And Jason Perillo was like, "Hey, come and help Bisping train." So I mean, Bisping, for everything that he's doing, drinking, being drunk all the time, he's taking this fight seriously. So we're gonna see a really, really well trained Bisping against an old GSP. And, I still think that GSP, he's smart enough to know what he's getting himself into. I think he definitely had a kind of Randy Couture moment where he's on the couch and he's like, "Oh, Bisping's a champ? Yeah, I think I could beat that guy. I could come back and beat that guy." So, you know, I think it's just an interesting matchup.
John Smith makes a good point. He says GSP wrestling will be everything. I think bringing in the coach is a hoax. He's talking about Freddie Roach. He says, guys, no one has seen him for 4 years, and that's my point. That's also my point. Part of my point as well. He's been gone for 4 years. I get it. No one's seen him for 4 years. We don't know what he's capable of. But if you go off of memory, what he used to be really good at was that wrestling. And who knows if he's big enough to take. I mean, I'm sure he could take Bisping down. Can he keep him down?
Right.
It's a whole different. Yeah.
He's got a he does have the reach, but still Bisping's the bigger fighter. And the footwork, like we said, he's got to catch him first.
Motherfuckers love it to be a soldier. Must maintain composure at ease, don't like it's complicated.